Hey, Federal Prison Talk. I'm live, and I'm waiting on a lawyer, Adam Oakey. So we talked on Facebook last couple of days. He texted me 4 o'clock today. He said that time would work for me. Let's hope it was up today. I just hope he shows up. So I just tried to call him, but if not, I'm gonna just keep you entertained for as long as I can. If you don't know who I am, my name is Sean Cowgill, and I did 52 months federal prison.
My Facebook password, and
It shouldn't do that. Normally, well, most people go have a Gmail, but it shouldn't be hard to get in at all. It's supposed to be really easy. I've done it on other shows, and I probably on. Yeah, I just hit the start button, so you're actually they're listening to you. But hey, this is a great effort. I mean, you're trying to get in, so.
Will this work? Should I try to go into the link, or will this work?
The link. Oh, you might be trying to go through YouTube. No, the StreamYard link, not the YouTube link. That's what you did wrong. See, I should have sent you both of those. That confuses people. But the one that says StreamYard, I can send it to you right now too. Again,
Okay.
let me click it on here. Yeah, you might be trying to go in YouTube. People have, and I shouldn't have sent you the link. That was a link just so you can see what your friends could click on that to watch YouTube. But that wasn't how you get in. It was the first one, the StreamYard. Let me let's see. Let me send it to you.
Linked down.
I'm trying to-
Copy the link. I copied the link, and I'm going to my browser.
Okay.
Put the link in my browser.
Shouldn't be all that difficult. I'm not sure.
That's what I was thinking.
No, it's really. I'm gonna send the link to you. I'm just
Continue with Facebook or continue with YouTube.
see. You're not. That's. Yeah, I think you're trying to go through YouTube. That's just a link to get in.
No, this is the
It really is. I'm gonna send you one. What's your email right now? And I'll send it right to you.
Oakey.nm@gmail.
Oakey. Oakey.
Yeah, Oakey.
Right.
.nm
Yep.
at Gmail. Let me try off another computer.
Okay.
So work.
All right. This should come right to you now. Oakey.nm. Okay. This should come right to you. And it just has a link. You click on it. All it really asks you is just put your name into a parentheses thing for to be on the show. I'm not sure what happened.
I don't know. Here it is. Hold on.
Okay. Technical difficulties, guys.
Yeah, sorry, everybody. 1 second. I should be able to pop in. Hold on. I was trying to get it a little earlier, but the judge had me in court. Okay, here we are. Let me click. Here we go. I jumped over to my other computer.
Okay. Maybe that was it. I don't know.
Yeah. Let's see. All right, it should be going on.
Yeah, cool. Then I'll see you pop up in a minute, and then I can just click the button to let you in.
Sure.
So see, that one's not asking you for all those, cut, copy, paste, and all that stuff.
No, it's entering the studio.
Yeah. Okay. Here, that's it. That's it. Yeah. I don't know where you was.
That was weird.
I don't know what happened before. Yeah. Maybe when I copy and pasted it, I screwed up. I might have screwed up. Yeah, you'll be blinking any second.
Just keep the broadcasters here. The host asks that you connect with YouTube or Facebook.
What?
So I'll try to connect with Facebook.
Okay. All right. I guess everybody that does YouTube channels, we all have Gmail because you need a Gmail to do a YouTube channel. So I guess we just assume everybody has a Gmail. Yeah, I just sent it to it. I know.
Now it's asking me to plug into the internet because.
Wow. Oh man. Wow. Yeah. It goes easy on a cell phone too, but I'm sorry, Adam. This is the first time.
Okay.
This is the first time I've ever anybody's ever told me this problem.
Let me continue with YouTube.
Yeah. You're a Facebook junkie, so you're always on there. I know because you're
I'm
always.
always on there,
Yeah.
but one of the crazy parts is my Facebook is so old. I don't know my password. Hold on.
Oh wow. Oh.
All right. Entering the studio. Let's see here.
Man, what a pain in the ass.
Oh,
Here, I told you how easy this thing
I
was.
think we might be good.
All right, I was telling you how easy it was. Man, there we go.
Hold on. There it comes. Just allow me.
All right,
Excuse me.
I'm looking.
Oh, I think we're good, man. Hold on. Let's see. There's a little.
I feel like I'm waiting for the connection here, man.
Yeah, that'd be way better.
I see the headlights. Oh, the round, man. Oh, he's got square ones, man. That's not him.
Hold on. Hold on. There we are. Look.
Looking. I'm looking.
Oh, should I see the display name Enter Studio? Okay.
Okay. Oh, here you. There you go. All right. Now click. It should be coming on. I just clicked it, so there we go. Coming on. Hang up. Hey, you made it. All right, man.
How are you, man? My apologies.
Yeah. Thank you. Oh, I better turn this down.
There we are. Got my volume up. My apologies for
Yeah,
the
I might have it
technical
too loud here.
difficulties.
You bet. Do you? I hear an echo. Do you have a YouTube channel running on something else, or maybe I do?
Let me see.
I think I did. No echo now, right? Should be good. Uh-oh, we lost him. That's Adam Oakey, guys. He's the I call him the real Saul Goodman of Albuquerque. So he'll be right back. He's trying something, but he showed up. So if you guys got questions about what to ask for a lawyer, today's the day. He's not going to charge you. It's free, and you can maybe a lot of money. Anybody out there, it doesn't have to be about prison. He does civil law, but I think he mainly does personal injury and family law. So that's his kind of crusade. I think he's just now getting into the criminal law, and we'll find out about that. So if you don't know his story, it's a really good one. Nick is in the house. How we doing, Nick? I forgot to call, and let's see. Nick says I forgot to call and missed a UA last week. Oh shit! What happened next? Well, Nick, you better run, man. It's not good. It's not good. Here comes Adam Oakey again. We're going to ask the lawyer that. He can probably answer that question better than me. I can tell you by experience, though, they'll come knocking on. They're knocking on your door, or they're going to call you. So you got to come down to the office, and you got some explaining to do. It's usually considered a dirty test. So, yeah, Adam, I got our first question here. A man said, "I forgot to call and missed a UA last week. What happens next?"
Missed a UA last week, and I think Sean, you know
What
a little
state
bit
are you?
about. Can you hear me well?
Yeah, loud and clear.
Loud and clear. Good. Well, I would suggest it
Well,
sounds like you're on probation at this time. You know, there's going to be a possibility of a probation violation.
Sure.
You know, so you're going to want to.
By the way, Adam, yeah, you need to call. Don't wait for them to come knocking at your door because, you need to call. I know you're scared to, but and I don't know why you missed it, but it's considered a dirty when you don't show up.
This is the thing when you're dirty on a test, if it's legit, and I know this from experience and from being a lawyer. At that point, you want to just be honest, man.
Yeah. Really,
you want to be honest because, the judge may want to revoke you, but if you're honest, that goes a long way when you're on probation. And, a lot of people, it sounds like you may have a problem, using, which is okay. We understand that. But if you're honest with the judge, they'll want to help you more than punish you.
Yeah, that's true. Because they're already calling it a dirty. So, and then if you lied, so it's going to be clean, and then it comes up with for heroin or something. And now you've lied and you didn't show up to take it. So, I mean, that's when
And here's the
all right,
thing
well,
on those
he
tests
just
that
doesn't
they're
get it.
99. The science shows they're 99% accurate now. So long time ago, we used to argue that they were unreliable, but those tests now are pretty reliable.
Right. So Nick, you need to call, and I would call now. Don't wait
Right
till
away, Nick.
tomorrow morning because that's not. Yeah, he may be on federal pretrial, and I was on 4 years of pretrial, and that's tough. That was tougher than probation. For me, it was.
Pretrial is tougher than probation.
But and about you.
Sure.
Yeah, well, now New Mexico with the no cash bill, all the state cases people are waiting for. They're on pretrial and they're waiting to get sentenced now. There's a lot of people out. I told you about a couple of them. They're supposed to be calling you, and one of them has money to pay you. The other one wants to do a payment plan, but they watched your show and all your the 45-minute one about your life history and that.
Oh, the Vice special.
Yeah, the Vice special. That's what it was. Yeah.
Well, Sean, real quick, while I have you on, I wanted to apologize about missing the last one. That is my fault. I'm so sorry. I know you're a professional, so I apologize about that. I want to thank you for having me back on and speak with your guests. And I want to let you know, congratulations. I really like your show. I've watched a few episodes, and I appreciate what you're doing for basically our community of people, giving them the information they need and encouraging them, as you know, we all need.
Right. Well, thank you. I've been here in Albuquerque a year, but now I'm learning who needs help, what needs help, and what needs. So if I can do anything to make up for all, I just got off federal probation about 11 days ago. So and I never had a dirty test the whole time. Nothing. I'm clean as came out clean and sober, never violated nothing. I made it through but it wasn't easy to do all that. Took a couple drug rehabs for me. Like I know you did that. So I did the sober living for 4 years of pretrial and then 2 years after prison on probation here, and I just had this last year with my own place, and I'm still getting used to that. Now they cut the leash. I don't know what to do. I'm like a dog in the yard. You just let me go. I don't know where do I go.
I totally understand. I did a year inpatient in California, and then I did a year in a sober house as well when I was fighting one of my cases.
Oh, okay.
One of the good things is after doing so much probation and doing some time, I kind of learned how to live right. I kind of learned to stop going out, and I didn't want to go back. So I kind of became more of a boring person, if you would call it. I don't really go out much.
Yeah, that happens. I know. You'd be a homebody, right?
Get out of trouble. I don't like to go out at night.
Well, you know a lot of people out on the streets. If you do go out, I mean, is there any people coming up to you and, hey, just come have a beer with us, hit this, and let's talk over old times? Do you get into that? You run into those people from the past?
Of course I do, but most of the people who know me respect me enough to know that I'm kind of past that and stuff. But of course you got the old people, places, and things that can still tempt you and stuff. But most people know that I've kind of been past that, so I don't get too much of it.
Maybe you could tell everybody here a little bit about your story, guys, because I didn't know that a felon could become a lawyer, right?
You know what? I actually didn't know until after I was a felon either. I, grew up here in Albuquerque, New Mexico, like many of us, had a kind of a rough childhood, but similar to a lot, was poor. There was some abuse and some drugs around, and eventually, later on, as I became an adult, I became the man that I never wanted to be. I had some stepfathers around, and they were abusive, and I became like them. Unfortunately, I was caught up in the cycle of excuses, a cycle of thinking that because it happened to me, that it was going to keep going on in the future. And, I spent basically from the time I was 16 till the time I was about 30 in and out of jail, on probation, on house arrest, in rehabs, just doing really bad. But eventually,
it's really hard to change and grow at it. It's really a transformation to leave that, all those years. I don't know how you did it inside, I mean,
It was. Anyway, you're doing the same thing right now, Sean. You know, it's a transformation that comes. You know, it's because eventually the consequences outweigh the reward, right? Because that life we were living, there's some kind of reward, right? There's some kind of joy, right? But eventually you start getting locked up. You know, people start dying. Everybody goes to prison, and you realize, oh, this ain't the life. I don't want to do that anymore. And some of the things that helped me change were, first off, you know, God. I believe in God and my higher power. I believe He gave me the strength.
Right.
I ended up having my first daughter when I was 30, and that helped me a lot because I knew that I kind of felt like it was a fresh start, Sean. My baby girl has
that was the right age for you to have a daughter.
Yeah.
Because I know you have five kids, right?
5 kids,
five children, right?
Yeah.
And you're always with all the pictures. I know you love your children because you're proud and you show them all over the Facebook. And you know, not many fathers these days are, you know, great children and proud of them. And you know, it's hard to find men like you now. But I know who you used to be. But maybe today is what you always were from the beginning. But we just don't know until we actually go out and, you know, let go and let God.
I think you're right, Sean. Right, that good person that you're striving to be, that I'm striving to be, we are those people, right? We are good people.
I had a guilty conscience. I've been to jail 11 times and in prison, but I always felt bad for what I did.
I always did too. I did too, and that's why I mostly took pleas, because I wasn't going to fight things when I was always guilty. I wasn't wrongfully accused. I wasn't, you know, the good guy who was accused. I was a bad guy, and I got accused, and I was always guilty. I always felt bad. And I would admit it.
Yeah, I did too. I was the only guy in jail that was guilty. You know, everybody else is, you know, they're all innocent. And they're set up and this one and that. If you went to jail for all the things you never got caught for, how much time do you think you'd get? You know what I mean?
Oh, if I were to even have gone to jail for the things I was caught for, and if I were to have a prosecutor and judges, I mean, on one of my cases, I was facing 27 years. I think by the grace of God, Sean, I think I should be in prison right now. I should have probably done about 10 to 15. I think, you know, if it was fair, because I have clients all the time who do that much time or more for less than what I've been convicted of.
For less, yeah. Those two potential clients that should be, I think one called you today and left a message. The lady and the other one's a couple, and they want to hire you, so they're not trying to get anything free, but they want you. They want you, so they watch all your videos, and because you speak their language and you come from their world, so you'll understand. And one of the questions I want to ask is, you know, I've been 11 times in jail and prison, so I've kind of had my court. That's 12 times in the courtroom for me, and the lawyers and the DAs. I always hear the lawyers, oh, I know the DA. I've been working with for years over the prosecution, married to my brother's sister-in-law, his cousin Donna, and we go out every Sunday and play golf. I hear that all the time. But I bartended at a golf course once upon a time, and I hear them making their wheels and deals. I'll give you 2 here, he gets for that. You're going to buy the next 2 rounds up, and we're just numbers. Do you see any of that?
I'm going to tell you the truth.
Any truth to what I'm saying?
I'm going to tell you the truth that I think a lot of what I would call trading cases happens with state's attorneys. You might have a public defender and a prosecutor, and you imagine they both get paid by the state. They work in the courthouse all day. So I think that happens. I'll tell you one thing with me. Of course they're going to trade cases, but one thing with me is I do try to build a good rapport with the prosecutors, state's attorneys, federal attorneys. Because there are times when if you have a good rapport with a state's attorney or a U.S. government attorney, you can get a preferable or a considerably better deal. As far as me kind of throwing my client under the bus as a favor to them for a favor they did for me, would never happen. Would never, ever happen. I would never, ever
think that of you at all.
You know what? And if the attorney ever approached me with that, one thing about me is I like to get along with attorneys, but can we cuss? I don't fuck around.
Oh yeah, this is that's my week for life one. We can't. This is this is anybody.
Okay.
Anything goes here. So
okay, so when it comes to other attorneys trying to work deals and stuff on the state, and I don't fuck around. I'm willing to. I don't care if attorneys like me. I don't give a shit if I have a good reputation as an attorney. All I care about simply is my client. Make sure my clients are happy, and I think what you're talking about does go on, but that's not something I would ever even want to get involved in because I don't want to play.
I'm just
No, and I know you don't.
So I'm
think
wondering
that,
how you.
but,
Let me say. So how are you fitting in the I'll call it the good old boy system? How are you fitting in it? I don't still even have one in New Mexico, but there's something left of some kind of the good boy network. The ones is that still going in New Mexico? That's probably in Oklahoma and Alabama and all those places. But
no, it's definitely out here as well. I've made my way in. At first, there was some maybe resistance because I'm a convict.
And all that when you.
Yeah, I have
sure.
a lot of lawyers
I said, what are you doing in my
stop me from
right?
being successful. Lawyers have complained that they don't like the way I advertise. They don't like the way I talk. They don't like the fact that I'm tatted up. But you know what?
I love that.
That doesn't mean nothing.
I'm just waiting for you to say, better call Adam. Better call Saul.
Yeah, so there is a good old boy system, but I think I've made my way in, and I make sure these attorneys respect me. I make sure, and I go in there when I go and I'm prepared. And if they want to see somebody be aggressive, I get aggressive. And I'll tell you the truth, a lot of times I surprise people with how aggressive I can be, even in the courtroom.
Well, I'm sure you've got all that pain and all those years of living on the streets and the struggle of coming up with no money and parent. I mean, I did it too. Believe it or not, the white guy. I was living in the black neighborhood. There's like 5% white people. I was one of them. They don't talk about us much, but I made it through. And it's not easy. It's not easy. Your own race doesn't like you. I call it the other white meat. They look at me. That's trailer trash. So they don't want me. Nobody else wants me. So now you got no backup. You got to make it do that. So, but
I understand. I understand how that is too, because being mixed race, a lot of the times whites don't think I'm white, but I'm part white, and then Hispanics don't think I'm Hispanic. They think I'm white. So I'm kind of just like in the middle,
Yeah, are you Paisa, are you Nathaniel, are you Wood? Right, I'm sure when you got to pick one. Maybe you get to be all of them.
I know, right? That'd be nice.
Yeah, I think
I remember the first time I had to go in and pick where I stood, and I had to have it explained to me that it had to be done, and I was like, I don't want to pick. I ended up having to pick. But I didn't understand that was part of the politics at first.
Yeah, I didn't know that either. First time I went was in San Jose, and I had to do 6 months my first time in. But one guy's waiting for me the bus is coming out from the downtown jail, and he goes, "Hey, you're Wood, right?" And I didn't even know. I heard of Peckerwood, but I never heard of Wood. Yeah. So I had to think. He goes, "Aren't you Wood?" I go, "Oh, he means like Peckerwood." I'm thinking, like, yeah, I'm a Wood. I mean, I had to do this real quick. And in the morning, for breakfast, I didn't know where to sit, right? So there was just an empty table. So I sat there. And I guess the Woods are over here. They go, "What are you doing over there? I thought you were Wood." Yeah, well, come over here to eat with us. So I'm over there, and they go, "But there's a white guy with all those Mexicans." They go, "Well, that guy there, we call him Driftwood." I go, "But there's a white guy with the blacks over there. We called him Firewood." that was a true story. So
that's funny.
Yeah, that's what I learned. Politics, man.
That's the politics. Something similar happened to me. I went in there, and one of the guys said, "Are you Raza?" And I was like, "Raza? What do you mean?" He said, "Are you Raza?" And he said, "Are you Hispanic?" And I said, "Yeah." And he said, "Well, then you're with us." And I said, "Well, what do you mean?" He's all, "Well, you're either with the whites, the Hispanics, the Paisas, then they had the natives, and then they had the blacks." And I went into my cell, and my roomie, my cellie was a black guy. and I got along with him really well. We were hanging out all night talking, and in the morning, the pod boss came up to me and said, "You got to roll that guy out. You can't be in a cell with a black guy." And I said, "Are you serious?" He said, "Yeah, man.
you have to roll him out. Yeah.
And so they said, "You roll him out, or we roll you." And I had to go talk to my guy, and I told him, I said, "We're going to either have to fight right now, or you're going to have to step out." And he was like, "No, man, I don't want to fight." He stepped out, and I don't know if the blacks dealt with him or whatever, but that was interesting, and I didn't like doing that, man. I didn't like that.
Yeah,
but that's how it is.
You're an MMA fighter, so yeah. Now I don't know if they knew you were an MMA fighter, or at least that first day, but did you? I mean, that'll get you through any prison, right?
That always helped me in jail. They always knew because of my ears, so they always know. But you think about this, it puts me in harm's way, though. You got to imagine, though, it puts me in harm's way.
For the first guy to take down, they got to prove something.
Well, they're going to try to prove something, or they're trying to stab me. Yeah. But I have had to use my fighting in jail a few times.
And then you become a trophy? Yeah. Probably a little different in jail. You're fighting in a little, little cubicles and stuff like that. It's not like you have room to, like you do in the arenas and stuff. But
actually,
you got through it. I mean, you did.
The close space helps. That helps. That's good.
Yeah. Oh, it does help. Okay. So, are you still involved in MMA at all? Are you are you a coach, or are you volunteer anywhere? Do you help guys come up in the ranks?
Yeah, Sean. Actually, I'm coaching my kids in wrestling now, and I'm still doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Okay. Oh, the woman that wants to call you, Crystal, she says she knows Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu too. She took it all her life in high school and stuff. She was going to talk to you about that.
That's awesome. Yeah, I still do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu just to try to stay in shape.
Okay, great. Let me see if I got
no more fighting. But I think I'm gonna call out Diego Sanchez and try to fight him for like some kind of local.
Really?
Show. I want to.
There you go. Promote it, man. It's promotion money, right?
I want to. Yeah, I want to. Yeah. Me and him have had an old beef for years.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Can you talk about that? Can you talk about that?
Yeah, sure. We had an old beef. We became friends after a while. Trained. Ended up getting in a fight at a bar. It was never finished. Vice picked up on it. Kind of reported it. Vice kind of reported it that I had beat him up. Because when you go on these shows, they can sometimes cut and paste part of your conversation. And so what happened is Vice said that I beat him up when the real situation is that we didn't finish the fight. Nobody beat anybody up. So Diego's called me up recently and said, "Hey, what's going on, da-da-da." And I'm sitting here thinking, well, shit, we might as well resolve it and try to get I'm thinking not a MMA fight because we're both older, and I don't think Diego's even allowed to fight in New Mexico anymore, but I'd like to just fight him in a jiu-jitsu match, kind of end it.
Okay, there you go. Yeah, do your own kind of thing, and maybe you can make pay-per-view out of it. But
that'd be fun.
There you go. Be fun. Well, like Rocky, when they had that Apollo and Rocky fought, when it didn't count, one of those deals.
Oh yeah, the scrimmage expedition.
Yeah, right. No, didn't they have a fight at the Rocky IV? They had been friends, but they had one of those. They just went and fought in the woods or the forest by themselves.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Oh yeah, I do remember that Rocky IV.
So how did you get involved in the MMA? I mean, so you were in and out of the jails till you're about 30, doing the crimes. I know you did all that, and the fact that you rose above, like you're the phoenix that rises out and became a lawyer, and now you're fighting for, the place you grew up in. How did the MMA get involved? Because I know you knew your stuff, but how do you get from the streets to something professional like that?
Well, when I was 11 years old, I was bullied, and I went to my aunt and I told her, and she put me in karate. back then in Albuquerque, around the whole world, I guess karate was huge. That was kind of like the big martial arts, and so I started training and yeah, being able to defend myself really well. By the time I was like 15, 16, I kind of got a reputation on the streets for a lot of street fights. Because out here in New Mexico, and I've lived in California, Vegas, Arizona. One thing about New Mexico is people like to fight. People like to put their hands up. People shoot too, but people are into fighting.
Yeah, a lot of people carrying guns around here. But let me ask you this real quick. I hate to interrupt, but they have a law where you can wear the guns on the outside. What do they call that? And that's fine, right?
Open carry. Open carry.
Open carry, but nobody wants to bet. They still want to hide it. Why not have it open? Texas does it.
I'll tell you, Sean, I have no idea. I carry mine openly. I'd rather people know I have it.
Yeah, you would think,
Yeah, so I don't know why people always want to conceal them. I think I feel safer when people know I have it. It just means just stay away, But
I wonder why they buy pot off the street when it's legal now in the store too. I don't get that. But
I don't know either. Yeah, I don't know either. Some people can't change their ways, right?
Maybe that's.
But yeah, the thing with MMA, Sean, it was so natural for me to fight. I started doing martial arts, and then I wrestled, and I was very good at wrestling, and then I started doing jiu-jitsu, and I was really good at that. And then I trained for Greg Jackson, and I fought for him when I was about 17, 18, when the UFC just started. And it was so natural for me, Sean.
Yeah, that's a lot of judo, karate, jiu-jitsu. I mean, putting all that together, that's a lot of different martial art languages, you know what I mean? To learn all that.
That's how it used to be. You would have to learn like one at a time. Nowadays they teach them like all together, as a fully rounded fighter. But back in the day, you would only be able to learn one at a time. And I was kind of pushed into fighting.
At the boys' club I couldn't afford to go to a club or nothing, but you get so far the free ones. You get to a yellow belt, and then that's all they do for you.
Right.
It's good. When I was a kid, 2 or 3 years of it.
It always helps.
Wrestling, I did wrestling in high school.
Oh, you did wrestling? That's cool.
Yeah, I did wrestling in high school. Yeah, for 1 year, but it wasn't my thing. I won most of them because I was really skinny then, and I could weasel and worm my way out. They could never hold on to me. I had that ability. I don't have it now, but I mean, I could climb a tree back then. I ain't going nowhere near a tree today.
Yeah. So the thing about
let's see.
MMA, I eventually quit, Sean, because the truth is fighting for me, well, it brought up memories of my childhood of abuse. So eventually I didn't want to fight anymore because I didn't want to deal with the violence.
Well, plus, is it painful? I mean, you're getting punched too. After a while, does that kind of get old?
That does get a little bit older, but you don't really feel the pain in the fights because of the adrenaline. But the thing that gets old is cutting weight.
Oh, okay. Sure.
And then the injuries from fighting, as far as like the bruises and the black eyes and stuff, that stuff doesn't really matter as much because it goes away. But I'm talking about like the shoulder injuries, the knee injuries, all that stuff. You know how it is, Sean, once you hit 30 years old.
Yeah. Right. Were you raised by both your parents? I don't think you were, right?
No, my father passed away when I was 3, and I was raised with my mother, but I moved away from her when I was 11 because she was addicted to heroin, taking pills, couldn't handle me. So my mom passed away, and I was raised by my aunts and basically by the streets, really.
Well, you're lucky at least you had the aunts.
That's true.
I was raised by my mother. We had a violent father that chased us all around, so we ran around a lot, but ran away from him a lot. But so I know, being raised by a mother, it's not always easy, but they do the best they can, and then your aunts raised you, and So I'm curious about all the blessing. I've had a chance to see the war zone out here, right? Drive through it and stuff on the way to work. Sometimes I guess I'm going to bring my cameras out there one day, but I don't want to do it alone. But I want to maybe get some shows about the zone. But it's bad out there, man. and I don't know how these kids are being raised by single families or foster homes or what. I mean, have you been in the zone lately? I mean, it's like it's Walking Dead. I mean, it's more than
it's really bad. I have a property. I have a property out there, so I go over there to look at my property all the time. I have one of my tenants in there, and the whole place is just littered with homeless people, and it is really bad right now.
I thought the Tenderloin was bad in San Francisco, but I've actually looked at the zone any time of the day, and just the regular blocks where the houses are, it's terrible. I mean, I can't believe what's going on out there. They're all hooked on the blues or something. Right?
Yeah, they're doing that, the blues, and I guess that and I've never messed with this stuff because it's scary, and I'm kind of out of the scene. But I guess the new thing is the fentanyl.
Yeah, I think blues are fentanyl. Maybe I don't. I'm
Is
not
that,
sure
is that,
but,
the blues? Okay. Yeah, it's bad out there. The drugs are bad, and I feel sorry for the people out there using drugs because they're so much more addictive and stronger nowadays.
Yeah. I mean, I run into them through wings and things like that. Or, I just feel I've never really felt that bad for homeless because I've been homeless myself, but not for long. I've gotten a shelter and worked my way out. But it's almost like they're trapped. That drug is those blues are just like making a slave out of them. And I can almost relate because I had crack problems in the '80s, and I haven't touched that stuff in 25 years. But that'll turn you into a zombie too. But not like I see here in the war zone, man.
Yeah, I think these blues are worse, but they're all bad.
Yeah. So, are you practicing any criminal law? I think you were talking the last time I talked to you. You were kind of getting into that. But do you personal injury and family law mainly?
Yeah, we do a lot of criminal law. I do a lot of murder cases. I have a murder trial coming up next month.
Wow.
So I probably have about 60 criminal cases right now. Probably have about 120 family cases, and then we also have a couple hundred personal injury cases. So I do all three of those.
So do you have other lawyers?
I have other lawyers that
do you have other lawyers?
I co-counsel with lawyers when I need to, but I'm the only lawyer at my office at this time.
Okay. So you're not quite a firm yet. It's not like Oakey and Oakey, all that kind of.
No, not yet.
But
we have 9 employees, but
60 cases, that's a lot. Wow. Okay, there you go. Yeah.
We have 9 employees.
Do you do internships?
Yeah, we're always looking for people to help us for internships, and if anybody's interested, we'd be happy to look at the resume or talk to them.
Okay, we have interns Win Wings for Life. They do 6 months with us, but then they have to go somewhere else. They're looking. They've asked about law firms. There was a girl named Crystal. Did she ever call you too? She wanted to be an intern. She's the one who introduced me to you on Facebook. I don't know if she's ever got a hold of you. She did prison time. Crystal Torres, I think was her last name.
I'm not sure.
You chat with her on Facebook a lot. She says she was going to call you about being an intern with you. I guess she hasn't called you.
I don't remember. I don't remember talking to her.
Okay. And then I was wondering, in the family law, there's a thing. I did a show about this. The conservatism, where they take over somebody's life and their house and their property, and they, you know what I'm talking about? There's just like an elder abuse thing, but they find these old
yeah. If somebody,
but there's a whole kind of almost a scam going on with. There's a movie called I'd have to Google it, but there was a movie about this lady and man and the judge. Everybody was in on how they were just taking everybody's houses and properties and putting them in old folks' homes, and it's a true story. And they finally did something about it. About 10 years later, they were still doing it to people, but. That movie kind of woke me up. A lot of this is still going on. People are perfectly sane, but they have no family, and they're just grabbing their money. And they're, maybe I'll send you the name of the movie on the Facebook. There.
I think it was a documentary or was it a movie?
No, it was actually a movie, but they've done documentaries on it too.
Okay.
But you haven't had any. You don't deal with any kind of cases like that, right? You haven't had anybody ask you for help. Okay.
Not like that. We do adult guardianships. You know, I do competency hearings on people who aren't competent, but never anything like that.
Yeah, the guardian. They use the term guardianship too.
Guardian,
I
yep,
guess.
guardianship.
Yeah. How
Guardian
about you ever get any human trafficking cases? I know that's big in Albuquerque.
I've had one. I've had one case like that. Not sure why I don't get any of those. I know that happens, but I've only had one of those cases, and it was somebody bringing somebody in from Mexico.
Okay. Do you ever decide that you don't want to represent a client? Because I mean, I've been in there too. There's some people that I don't think they should get out.
Oh,
I did time with them, and you either. So do you ever make that judgment call? Like, I don't really want to represent that guy.
All the time.
Have you ever done that? Or,
yeah, all the time. Just like any other business. If I don't vibe with somebody, if they did something that I don't want to defend them on, and that's one of the reasons why everybody has their own morals. Everybody has their own right to choose, and there are cases that. And not a lot, but there are cases when somebody does something that I think is just too egregious, particularly with kids. There are people that I won't defend.
Right. I still believe that there's hope for the human race, and I try to help people. I've been getting calls for 2 years from people, helping them out with character reference letters and questions and all these things that the lawyer doesn't have time for or doesn't want to deal with. And there's a service called prison consulting. I don't know. It's kind of, there's a lot of in the federal side, people on pretrial. I don't know too many people do it for states, but so I started doing it now where I'm charging, but I don't charge much. There's people charging $5,000, $700, $7,000, $10,000 for all the right character reference letters and narrative, and get them into certain programs and help them with the pre-sentence report, all kinds of just answering questions, dealing with the family, counseling the family, just telling them what it's like, how they're going to get through it. All the people on kind of nonviolent white collar charges. So I started doing that, and I got a few clients that I'm helping now, but I'm not going to charge nobody $5,000 to write a few letters. There was one guy, a lady called me, she was charged $12,000. The guy sent her 10 templates of character reference letters and didn't even copy and paste her name in it. She had to do that for $12,000, So I did it. I did them all for $500 for her. But when I do it, I call the families and whoever their references are. I call them and we work together to get the right letter down. So then it relieves the stress from them. They don't have to deal with all that. And then they approve it or they don't approve it. Over.
I don't like the fact that he charged her $12,000 and didn't do anything, Sean. But I know you did it for $500. But hey, you did a great service. I think, in just personal opinion, man, you got to make some money too, and I think it's worth a lot more than $500. And don't be afraid to charge people sometimes.
It probably is, but I'm the new guy on the block, so maybe I'll double the price next year. But it's a little side thing I'm doing. I've had 8 clients so far in the last 2 months.
Good job.
Which is good.
That's how it starts. I took my first murder case for $14,000. I took my first murder case for $14,000.
Oh, really? Wow, a murder case, and you took it, and that was a trial too.
Woo, yeah, well, okay. we ended up settling. I ended up getting the guy 3 years on a plea deal, second degree.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I took a bunch of murder cases in the beginning for pretty cheap, so I could get my reputation and get my feet wet and get that experience.
Yeah. Murder cases. I mean, wow. I hear murder case, I think of OJ, how he got off, right? He had all the lawyers, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people think he was guilty, but if that was a federal case, I don't think they would have. It's different in the feds.
You're probably right. When the feds charge you, they pretty much got you for the most part. The feds, the conviction rate is high.
Can I ask you a question about the grand jury? Do they use those in state cases?
They do.
So here's what here's my thing, my little pitch that I say. So there's this grand jury. I don't ever get to meet them. I don't know who they are. I don't get to. It's not a jury of my peers. I don't get to choose which ones we want to keep. I don't get to face my accusers. I don't get to go to the grand jury meeting, wherever they are, and they all this time they're they're gonna discuss me and decide I'm guilty or innocent. So they say I'm indicted, which means I'm guilty, but we'll give you a chance to take it to trial and prove your innocence. But I don't get to face my accusers. Whatever. Where's that in the Constitution? How is that? And they say, so now you're going to be on a pretrial. We'll have an officer. I thought I'm innocent. So why do I have to? Some people have to wear monitors and be drug tested twice a week. I thought I'm innocent, and you guys decided all this, and now I got to go prove my innocence. You know, when I twist it like that, but that's how I feel. I mean, where's that in the Constitution?
It's not in the Constitution. As a matter of fact, it's been litigated, and a lot of states have done away with the grand jury, and what they're doing now, even in New Mexico, with a lot of cases, is called a preliminary hearing, where you get to basically go in front of a judge, and the state or the government has to prove that there's enough probable cause to keep the case moving forward. I hate grand juries. They're secretive.
In the States,
it's unfair. It's not fair.
And who picks them? And
trial is not fair either.
Why can't I be there to defend myself? Yeah.
You know, you can. The defendant can be at a grand jury indictment.
Really? But they don't tell me until after.
Well, you're supposed to get notice that there's a grand jury hearing come. You're allowed to go. I've never been to one because I would never want to take my client to one because there's no point, because we're not going to say anything at all.
You can't defend yourself, right? You just have to sit there and watch.
Pretty much, yeah. I hate them.
I just, that's the one thing I deal with. I get phone calls all the time from people that have just gotten indicted, and they want to know what that is, or they just got their house raided, or they get a target letter, and they know something's coming, and that's why they call me, because in the Fed, you up to 10 years waiting to get sentenced, but it averages maybe 2 or 3, and that was harder than prison. That was the hardest part, man. Not knowing what your life's on hold, not knowing how much time you get. Year after year, one day you're going to go to prison. I don't know if it's this year, next year, but you're going, and nobody thinks you're going because you've been out 2 years.
That's always the worst, not knowing how long you're going to go for, and it's always the worst to go back after you've been out. Hate that.
Yeah. Right.
Let
me ask you. You got what's your plans for the future? I mean, you gonna finish your life as a lawyer? I mean, you plan to retire? Or is this you gonna have more people come in and get a bigger law office? What do you got? What's the future for Adam Oakey?
Well, there's few different things going on. I don't want to stop helping people. I am doing some real estate investing now for my future. I'm trying to get a couple maybe small apartment complexes or something for the long term. I have a reality show about to start to be filmed on my law. Yeah. We were reached out to by a company out of Austin, and they work with Discover and A&E, and they thought that I was interesting enough to do a show. So we're going to start filming that here soon.
I could see them making a movie out of your life or a mini series. I could really see that, man. I really could see that.
Well, if they did, they're actually. I'm talking to a producer in Hollywood now about making a movie. I went out to Hollywood last year, and I stayed at his house, and we got a hotel, and we talked to the producer and the writer, and they're actually starting to write a movie about my life now.
Wow, man. Oh, dude, that's so good. Wow. How do you feel about that, man? That's got to make you feel proud and probably. How do you feel about it? How does that make you feel, man?
I feel good, but I feel it's not over. I need to do something more. I don't know what it is. But God's calling me to do something, but I don't know what it is.
See, he's not going to tell you, because if he tells you, you're going to mess it up. That's what we do. Exactly. So he can't tell you. Exactly.
I think about politics sometimes, Sean. I think about politics. I think.
Really?
But I don't know.
I vote for you.
Thank you.
You could win if you could get the people. I'm going to say people that came from our background. If we could get them to register and show up to the poll, you'd win by a landslide. It's getting them to register. But sat out there with tables, and I don't know if you're allowed to maybe give them a bag lunch or something. I don't know if that's bribery, but I know they could. Some places sign them up for gift cards or something. But if we had enough people to volunteer, I'd go out there and sit at a table and just get them all to register. I'd be glad to help you. I've campaigned for other people, and if you got enough people like me, you would win by a landslide.
That would be amazing. And then I can help people like Sean. You know, there's so many things going on out there right now that make a difference.
We get all the people in the zone to register. Yeah,
that'd be amazing. Yeah. I'd love to help.
I know people would have your back. Yeah, I mean, I don't know which parts of town won't have your back, but I'm right near. I'm next to I'm real close to the zone. But everything on this east side, I'm sure they would all vote for you. On this side of the freeway, I don't know about. I'm learning the little forest sections. You got the Coors Road here. That's nice, but they said Tramway. No, that was a bad neighborhood, but parts of it are.
Parts of it are. Tramway it used to be, but it's getting Albuquerque's getting worse everywhere, except for the northwest side is still pretty nice.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah,
I haven't seen all of it yet, but yeah.
But
I'd love to see run for office.
You know? Here's the thing.
Ask if they
poor people on drugs, it's odd because of where we come from. And I'm a lawyer now, but I feel more comfortable sitting in a room of addicts than I do a room of lawyers, because at least they're real.
I completely understand. I completely understand. Yeah, they're real.
At least they're real. At least they're not going to bullshit you. At least you know who they are as people. You know, and I don't mind being the bad guy, because when you're the bad guy, you know what people think about you. But when you're the good guy, everybody talks shit behind your back. So if I'm the bad guy, I could be the bad guy lawyer. I don't really care. I know where people stand.
Yeah, you sleep at night, and who
I
knows
sleep at night.
Skeletons they have. Yeah. Well, I've been told that when you go to jails and prisons, you come out with one superpower, and that's the power to read right through people. You know who they're, because you have to in there. You have to be able to read people. But we have that superpower. So when you're sitting in the room with those people, you're seeing right through them.
Yeah.
And then when you're in the room with the people from the zone or something, you could see that they're real, and that's that superpower we get. I think that's about the only one we really get out of prison, or jails. But I mean, I use it all the time. I get the vibe. I can tell. They come. You know. I used to have. I think I had it before. Yeah.
Yeah, we have to have those survival.
There were nothing like today. I walk down the street and I know that that guy's trouble like a dog, so I'm gonna cross the street because people over there, I get good vibes. Just I don't know. Yeah. And I think that's kind of when you sit in a room with those people and you feel uncomfortable. That's what we get. But you do some time and you really learn how to find that skill.
So
I have a question. If they make the movie about you.
Oh, I was going to say.
Let me ask you this question. Who would you? Yeah.
Sorry, there's a delay. There's a book written by Malcolm Gladwell called Blink that basically shows statistics to prove that intuition, like you're talking about, is proven to be more accurate than statistics. So we could use our intuition to read somebody more than we could looking at somebody's, say, criminal history or statistics about that type of person. Our intuition is usually true.
Right. I believe we have that. And I think all creatures kind of have that instinct, or they say animals know when an earthquake or a storm is going to come and they run, and we don't yet, but we have our own. I could kind of just nod to you from 100 feet away, and you know what I mean. There's that little. It's kind of a half body language, half kind of. We have that kind of ability, But I want to ask you this question: if they make the movie about you, who do you want to play your part as an actor? Maybe you want yourself. I don't know.
No, not me.
You got anybody in mind?
Jason Momoa.
Oh, good one. Yeah. He's cool. I used to watch him on Stargate Atlantis. Yeah.
They say
Jason
that
Momoa,
guy the guy from not Sons of Anarchy. What's the new biker show? The
there is a new one. There is a new one. Disciple or something. They do have a new one.
I can't think of it, but it's the the Mayans. The Mayans. There's a guy on there that.
The Mayans. That's right.
I forgot his name, but there's a guy on there that everybody says looks like me.
I've seen. I know a couple of bikers that have your look that are white, but then and I know Mexican guys. You kind of have that. You could go. Well, you do. You go both. You go both.
Kind of both.
So you can walk. You can walk into a white biker bar or a Mexican, biker bar, and you'll be fine at each place, right? I guess.
I've always been always been good with like Hispanics and whites. Oh, the guy's name is Clayton Cardenas. Watch, hold on.
Okay. I don't know the show, but you gonna pull up a picture? Oh, look at that! Oh yeah, okay. I might have seen him. Yeah, maybe I did see those episodes. Wow. He's
a better looking version of me.
Unless you want to play yourself, I don't know if they let you do that when it's your first movie, but that's it. Yeah. That's great.
But yeah, who knows if that's gonna happen? It's kind of a dream. We still gotta. Once we write the movie, you still gotta sell the movie. Somebody's got to buy it and put it on. But apparently, the writer's been getting pretty good.
Netflix, maybe Netflix. Yeah.
Netflix might do it. It would cost a few.
I'm thinking Netflix or something.
Yeah.
They'll film it here in Albuquerque.
Yeah, exactly.
Probably right because we got the. Mm-hmm. That's good.
Film it right out.
I don't really have any questions from the audience here. Yeah. I was hoping they had more people on here, but it's the middle of the day. But I wanted more questions for you. Hey, how long have you been practicing law?
About 5 years now. I just came up on 5 years.
Okay, that's great. I always feel that a lawyer, the first 5 or 10 years is the one you want to hire. You get a guy doing it. I think his energy is all that. I'm winning that case, making a name for. I think that's gone 20, 30 years. You're just making another house payment for him.
I feel the same.
Don't get a guy that's been doing it for 30 years.
I'd rather hire.
They're going to tell you, I got this. Yeah, I want a guy right out, fresh out. Yeah, with the Jewish last name, though, but that's enough to be that. Yeah. They want to make a name for themselves.
Yeah.
Because the other guys, they just, I don't think if you hire a lawyer for 30 years, he really doesn't even do the work. He just passes it on to his interns or somebody else,
Yeah, that's true.
They do much. Yeah, I mean, they'll show up at a court date for you, but I don't think they do the hard work. The book, digging through the law books and finding that special law that they can use to, represent you with. I bet you do that. You still look look through law books, or you do it all on the real books, though, but not the computers, right?
Yeah, I have the real books right on my desk. They're right there. I'm old school.
I've been told that's the best way, even though we have it all on digital and you could just, put a word down and the computer will search for everything. But I've been told when you actually go through the book, it kind of sinks in and you feel the meaning behind it. I don't.
It is 100% better to look in the books.
Right. So let me see what else could I ask you? Why don't you just tell me what you want to talk about? And I don't want to keep you too long. I know you're busy.
No problem.
How much do you charge an hour? How much do you charge an hour, Adam?
I charge $3.50 an hour.
Okay. No, I mean I knew it was going to be something. Maybe that's different.
I charge $3.50 an hour, but I also do a lot of pro bono cases. So I do a lot of free work for people as well.
I mean, that's the price when you hire lawyers. Everybody knows they're expensive, but I'll bet their hour they get from you.
Oh yeah, of course.
It's $100 phone call, for a 5-minute call. I know you're not like that.
Well, here's the thing: I don't typically charge for phone calls.
Make money though.
Well, you got to make money. A law firm's expensive.
You got to make a living. I get it.
my law firm costs about
Sure.
120,000 a month to run.
Wow. And you guys have special taxes and things that you have to pay to, right, in the law firm for insurance kind of things, right? That you have to,
Yeah, we all have to be in
liabilities.
all that liability, malpractice insurance, general insurance.
Practice. Right.
Yeah, and then we
So
have to, even paralegals nowadays are $70,000, that work under us.
Yeah, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're coming. They're starting to get recognized. Because I would hire a paralegal because I don't have the money before I'd hire a lawyer, just because I don't have the money for things. If I needed one, I'd go to a paralegal. I'll edit that out because we wanted to go to you. I'm sorry, Adam. I should in case anybody's watching. I don't want to get them the idea that But anyways, let me see. Well, I'm running out of questions here, so let me see. Anything you want to say to people, or maybe we could just wrap it up?
No, I
don't know.
I just want to
life?
just encourage your guests. I want to encourage them to, get out of the system. As Sean knows, as I know, it's horrible. We know. But once you get out, there is a way out. And the way out is to really, honestly, just do the right thing. Stop using drugs, stop committing crimes, start looking towards your future, have a goal in your life. And one of my biggest things is always find a way to help people. If you're helping people and you're accountable, you cannot do those same things that you were doing and still be accountable. Like, I cannot go out and be that same criminal and be your lawyer and advise you and you take me seriously. Sean cannot sit up here and run a show where he's networking and trying to help inmates if he's out there living a negative life, right? So
I can't be a hypocrite.
It starts with us. We have to be accountable to ourselves. We have to be accountable to the people that we're helping. And we have to literally, if you have to shut yourself in your house, lock the doors, shut off your phone so you don't get those calls from your connects and your friends and your people, then you do it. There was a time in my life when my friends and connects and party people would call me and I would tell them, you don't ever fucking call me again, you fucking asshole. And that's how I had to be with them. And those were friends at the time. Eventually they understood, don't call Adam. So I just want to encourage everybody to do good. Hopefully you don't get in legal trouble, but if you do in New Mexico, I'm here for you. It sounds like Sean can help you, with some stuff as far as referrals and letters to the courts and stuff. And I would encourage you to do that with Sean because he has that experience and knows what they need to see. But it's just good having a person like you in our community, Sean, who comes from the outside, who comes into New Mexico. And you're out here helping, man. I appreciate that.
Well, and I also work for Wings for Life. That's why I'm here. But we help the families of people incarcerated. And you don't even have to know anybody who's been to prison. Just come, give us a call, come to our office. We always have bikes for the kids on hand. We had a guy who did that. Need clothes. We hook you up with some job resources, and we know all the other agencies that do everything we don't. So we're kind of the place to come to find out where everything is. We do a lot of that. We have a dinner every Monday night. We need people to come down. It's at the Second Presbyterian Church on Lomas, and I think it's right before you get to downtown, and it's free. It's a free dinner, guys. We have a speaker from the city or the community. We have a really good speaker. It's on Facebook and YouTube, and it's 5 o'clock. You come down, you get a free dinner, you get to meet the community, and that's every Monday night. Adam, if you could ever make it on a Monday night, you bring your kids because we have activities for the kids. We have they're family dinners, they're little tables at 10, and we try to mix the families so they can meet other families. And it's a real good brings the community together. I would love to have you come any Monday night. Just got a 2nd Presbyterian Church on Lomas there. We get downtown.
Yeah.
I can't remember the name, but I think it's Alicia, something like that.
You know what? I would love to go, Sean. I'll
But,
make a promise to you that I'll go over there in the next couple months, take the family, and I
okay.
would love to join you guys.
All the kids, because my boss would love and Eden Field. I don't know if you've ever seen her on the show, but she's 28 years ago. Her husband went to federal prison, left her and 4 kids with no money, lost the house. The church she was working for told her they didn't want nothing to do with her. You got to leave, and so she started this not do Wings for Life to help all the other families not to go through what she went through. You know, so when we go to prison and jails, you know, we leave our family. They get a sentence all their own. Their whole life changes, you know, especially if you have a wife and kids. But I mean, I went to jail, and my poor mother, you know, I mean, we kind of cause damage to them. They're hurt. They you know, they do their own kind of time. And sometimes if you're the breadwinner, you know, you really hurt your family. But it takes a big man to admit that when you go to prison that you made that choice and you did this to your family. A lot of guys, no, I got caught. I didn't do this to my family. You got to move on. You got to take the accountability, like I said. You know, when I went to prison, I hurt everybody around me. I used to like to say, "Oh, my family don't want nothing to do with me." Well, I wouldn't want nothing to do with me. For you yourself.
Yeah,
I'm not surprised. But once you take care of yourself and you do something about it, and little by little, maybe they will want to have something to do with you. But I wouldn't want anything to do with the old me 10 years ago or something. Get that guy away from me. You know, Adam, would you want to hang out with yourself when you were 22?
Got to earn your trust back.
Yeah. I wouldn't want to know you back when you were 22 or 24. No, man. I'd cross the street. I'd get those vibes. And today, I'd stay on your side of the street. You know? But that's the change we can make, man. That's what we can do.
That's who we always wanted to be, too. Those people. The good guy. I always wanted to be the good guy, you know?
And now you get to do that, man. You get a feeling of when you go to the courtrooms, you're not there as a defendant, you're as a lawyer. Do you ever just feel that, like, achievement? You get that? You ever pat yourself on the back, on the shoulder for that?
I feel that. I don't mean
an ego. I don't mean an ego, but I mean just a good, like, you did the right thing kind of feeling, you know?
I feel that feeling when I have other lawyers judging me as a convict, and I say, hey, you know what? I just beat you, and me and everyone like this, all these defendants are just as good as you.
Yeah.
You know, and I want them lawyers to know that just because these defendants are having rough times, having a tough life, I want them to look at me and say, I am one of them. And for that to basically tell them these people have as much talent as anyone else. And a lot of times in my experience, even more.
I thought you might have that kind of stuff going on inside. One of my causes lately is to let felons be able to teach in high school in the inner cities where they don't even have, nobody wants to work. But I'd like to teach history and English, and every day, not just an hour at lunchtime in their cafeteria. No, I mean teach every day. And who's going to reach those kids more than somebody who's been in prison and all that stuff on the streets? And that's where they're from. A fella can reach them, man. I don't mean a pedophile. We don't want sex offenders in the schools. I get it. But there's guys who have turned their life around and they want to teach history, man. People are not my school. Well, all those kids in there, half of them are felons already, or are going to be. So why can't we just go in there? I think we could reach those kids,
Well, our history, it gives us credibility, Sean. Because they know that we've been through what they're going through.
Right. So, I mean, just because we have felonies, that doesn't mean we can't put that behind us. It doesn't mean we're bad people. There are probably most people are bad people that have felonies. I'll give you that. But let's say a third of them turn out to be good people, and we're hard workers. And we just want a job and we just want to earn a paycheck. If you give us that opportunity, I don't want to sell your shoes and work at Subway Sandwich or McDonald's and you'll let me fix your car or be the plumber, or not even a roofer. Okay, I feel like I'm better than that. Can I have a decent job too? And they don't want to. Right. That's the hard part. Because they'll hire felons for all the jobs that nobody wants to do. That don't pay anything, and then wonder why they go back to prison. You know.
Right. Another thing I've been working on too is expungements and pardons. So that's been helping a lot of people with records.
Oh, you do that. Okay. That's great. I can send you a lot of people over. Thanks for telling me that, Adam.
Sure.
Thanks for telling me that. Can I ask you what you charge for something like that? Because they're going to want to know.
It just depends. They start at $2,500 and they could go up to about $5,000. Just depends on how many charges and how many different cases.
Oh, no, that's a great price. That's a great price. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll even push that for you.
I appreciate that.
Can you do it for people in other states? Can you do it for people in other states, or do they have to be New Mexico?
I can do federal.
No. How about Fed cases? You can do federal.
I can do federal or New Mexico.
Well, if you can do federal. No, that's great because most of my people are federal. So this is your way. Yeah. Sure. What are the requirements? They have to be off probation already to get expunged?
They have to be off probation. Yeah, it depends on the felony, but they're going to have to be off probation for a minimum of about 5 years. They can't have any new violations, and they have to have a satisfactory discharge.
Okay. If they owe restitution and they're making payments consistently, can they still get expunged, or they have to pay off the whole restitution?
No, they have to be all done with payments, restitution, or any court fees. That has to be finalized out. So if they're still making payments, we have to have them finish up on that before we could actually apply.
Well, I got a $1.7 million restitution. Not going to happen for me.
That's all right. You're redeeming yourself. Maybe I think you're going to strike it rich pretty soon.
I didn't get that money. I filed tax refunds, and everybody got to keep the refunds, and I have to pay it back. But me and 9 people split up 20%. We make some money, but nothing like that, you know.
Yeah.
But I'll never ever get a tax refund for the rest of my life, unless I win the lottery. But it's not too bad now. I pay $100 a month now for the rest of my life. Now that I started this off probation thing, so I can live with that. You know, I won't even cover the interest, but. Yeah. So let me ask you: can you help with people getting off probation early?
Yes, we can do a motion for determination of probation. We do those all the time.
Can you do federal?
Yeah, of course. We can do federal.
I know
state,
I was told that they're halfway mark. They can go to court and ask if everything they've obeyed everything, no violation. They say at the halfway mark, but then I was told every year they are allowed, or they have the right to go every year, but you don't run that. You go every year. Have you heard? In the feds, it's average of 3 years of probation, but it can be up to 5 or 10. But 3 is kind of the average. What are state? 1 year for states, or?
Oh, with the state, it could be in New Mexico. The maximum is 5 years. I typically see probably the average is 3 or 5 years.
Okay, so you may have some business for that too. I'm starting to get people call me from Albuquerque. Those are great services that I can send you right away. People will, I'll do that. Should I give them your email?
No, you can give my email. My cell phone's fine, Sean. Okay. I use my cell phone.
And all your information, I think I put underneath the video. If not, I'll make sure it'll be there when we're done. I'll put it on there. I think I did though. So I put your email, your phone number, and what else I put? I put your office and your cell. Should I have not put the cell on there?
No, cell's fine. That's okay.
Okay. I didn't know.
No, that's fine.
I don't know if that's your personal cell. It must be blown up all the time.
No, man. For me, it's business all the time, and someone needs to get a hold of me. That's why I give out my cell. You know, I know how important it is, so not a problem.
Yeah, but I mean, you're able. I said it must be blowing up all the time with people calling you your cell phone. I don't know how you keep up with that.
It's kind of tough, but I got my staff to help me if I need it. But yeah, it gets tough.
Yeah. All right. Well, Adam, I think maybe we'll just wrap it up. And I'm so glad you told me about the expungements and all that, because I'm really. A lot of people ask me all the time about that, and that's not a bad price. I get the white collar guys calling me. You could charge them double on that.
Yeah,
they'll pay it. Not a problem. But like the clients I got now,
I appreciate
the clients I got now. I got a lady. I got clients with drug charges calling me now, racketeering, and I haven't really had a lot of white collar guys. But so I have a lady facing 10 years for distributing meth across state lines, and another guy was in a motorcycle gang and drugs, and another guy fentanyl charges, all this, and they're calling me for that. So I thought it was going to get white collar people. They'd watch my show, but I guess they I don't know. Eventually, but I like those kind of guys that call me now because I can relate. You handle drug charges too, right? People facing drug charges. Fentanyl's the tough one right now, right? Fentanyl's the one they're all cracking down on, right?
Fentanyl is the big one. Is that the bad one? Down on. Yeah, that's the big one.
It was OxyContin 10 years ago, and before that, I don't know if it was LSD or cocaine. Every decade they kind of have the one that they hate, right?
Yeah, yeah. Heroin's still pretty bad, I guess, too. Just actual black tar heroin. Yeah. Then, of course, meth.
That man should be calling you. That man I should be calling you. It's fentanyl that he got caught with. So
okay.
he's really scared. He's gonna call you, but they let him out on bail. He's looking at a lot of years, so he'll tell you all about it. I hope you can help him out though. Because he's a great father. I talked to him, and he raises 2 kids all on his own. He all that stuff going for him, and I'm going to write him I'm going to do some character reference letters for free for him. I'm doing him pro bono like you do. Yeah. Okay. The guy's got. I can sense he was so proud about his kids when he told me about his family, and then I told him about you and how you have 5 kids and you're proud of them. So, how old are your kids, Adam?
We'll end it with that. I got 5 kids ranging 13, 11, 10, 9, and 8.
Woo! Wow.
Man. Got all ages.
That's a TV show right there. That's a TV show too. You do the movie now. You do the TV with all your kids. Oh yeah, there you go. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll wrap it up. Any final words, Adam? And thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate it, man. I will send in as many clients to you as I can as they come through. Okay.
No, Sean, I thank you so much for having me, brother. I would love to come on anytime. And if you ever need anything personally, of course, you can call me. And, thanks to all your viewers as well.
No, just keep doing what you're doing, man. And, I know you got God on your side. You got guardian angels, and I'm on your side. And anything I can do for you, you just give me a call too, okay? And Wings for Life, you got any clients that need our kind of help, you send them over to Wings for Life. We'll help them out too. A client goes to jail, and the rest of the family. When somebody has to do time, tell the rest of the family to come to us, and we're gonna. They don't have to do it alone. Okay, that's what we're here for.
I love that, Sean. That's amazing. I'm gonna actually start sending the families of my clients over to you guys.
Okay, because we're here because we don't want you to be alone. We know what you went through. It's tough. It's tough. Yeah. It's really tough. A lot of women come to Wings for Life, and their husband, their boyfriend, or their son, and they fall apart. They don't know. It's a real rough time. But also at the same time, a lot of women leave their husbands when they do time. I'm sure you remember that.
Yeah.
But maybe if we try to keep that family together, we even go to the prisons. We go inside of the prisons. Yeah, we go right. The COVID kind of stopped us. I still got to wait to get into prison, but they about 15 or 20 Wings volunteers go to the prison and have all kinds of activities and dinner and stuff in the prisons. Give Wings special permission to bring in food and desserts and cookies and arts and crafts stuff, and it's a real I don't know, it's a real special time because I've seen all the videos. So we do that when we bring the families that are out here. We bring them with us sometimes, and we get everybody together. Like we get them special visiting passes so they could, sit at. I'll get in that another time. But Adam, I'm just gonna say thank you very much for everything, and you have a great New Year's and keep up the good work.
Thank you so much, Sean. God bless you. Happy New Year's, and I got your back too, brother. If you ever need me, I appreciate you.
Thanks so much, man. Appreciate it. All right.
Thank you, Sean. Talk soon. Bye-bye.